Yo, what up, everybody? Welcome to the Enough Said podcast. We are in season 5, episode 6. A lot to talk about this week. So, you know what to do. Dre, let's get this thing started. All right. What up, gentlemen? It is a great week here. Week 5, perfect day in Philadelphia. The Phillies lost. Trying to go at it again today. We'll see what happens there. But a lot of good games going on today. Eagles are on a bye week. Thank God. We'll talk about that and a lot more. We got a little game at the end. So we got the normal guys with us today. We got Jermaine, who's on the road. We got Andre, and we got Mike McStuffins, of course. What up, everybody?
Hey, what's up? What's up?
So, Mike McStuffins.
I just caught that. I like that. Mike McStuffins. Oh, wow.
Oh, man.
There's got to be a guy. I want to look on in the internet. There's got to be somebody named Mike McStuffins. I got to find that out.
Hey, we gotta make we need to copy and paste Mike's face and put it on Doc McStuffins'
Or
yeah.
we can do a
God.
sticker. We can do a sticker and do like the
Yeah.
NFL fat heads.
Oh, man.
Oh,
I
man. That is
I can do that.
hilarious.
AI.
Mike have his eyes with creepy eyes open.
Oh, man. Oh, that's awesome. All right. Well, gentlemen, you know where we're going. Jermaine, do you know what the number 0 is?
I mean, yeah, there's plenty of things. I mean, tell me what's
Isn't
going
that Bryce
on.
Huff's number?
Huh?
Isn't Bryce Huff number
is that
0?
Bryce? Is Bryce Huff number 0? Yeah, I think he is number 0, Mike.
Yeah, well, that too. But what I was thinking of, that is the amount, that's the net yardage the Eagles had in the first quarter last week. 0. They think they only had like 40 yards in the first half.
Right.
And then Sirianni comes out and says, well, it's on me. I can't, it's my fault. And, I got to get the players ready. Well, it's week 4. I mean, like, what are you doing?
Yeah. I mean, the more and more you see, the more and more that Nick Sirianni, in my opinion, is almost a dag near fact. I mean, just listening to the radio stations in Philly and all that stuff, he's got his hand in the cookie jar. I mean, he's like Jerry Jones. And the more you go with Nick Sirianni and all that stuff, I mean, they're talking about having his head off, cutting his head off during the bye week. You know what I mean? So, my thing is that you don't do that. Just let the season ride out and just get rid of him, because I think he's already cooked now, and they're just riding it out. They're just riding it out now. Nick needs to keep his hand. My whole thing is, because me and Dre was talking about it. It's like, me and Nick. I didn't know Nick had his whole hand, but this is not what I see in the Kellen Moore offense. And I think what he's doing, he's overriding it. You know what I mean? A lot of plays and all that stuff. So, I mean, that's the way I see it. I mean, I think Nick is not the guy. Nick is a puppet. You know what I mean? And until they figure something out, I mean, I know we're going to be talking about Jalen and all that stuff, but if they they need a solid head coach, like an Andy Reid coach, that somebody that's going to, solidify and bring, bring some discipline to this team, because there's no discipline and definitely is no respect. You know what I mean? For that. I mean, that's the bottom line. That's where I see it. So,
Dre, Doug Peterson need to come back?
I wouldn't say Doug Peterson. I would say, man, like Jeffrey Lurie needs to basically have his Rolodex open and then just go right to Belichick. I'm serious, because he's available, and I would go for him, honestly. I agree with Jermaine. Nick is a puppet, and then he. What's interesting is that, like, he keeps saying, oh, I'll let you guys do your thing and all that during the prep time. But then when it comes down to game time, he's still making decisions. Okay. He's still got his hands in the cookie jar. He's still, he's still taking control. and then he tries to, and I will talk about Jalen a little bit, but there is a problem between him and Jalen. Okay. And I this bye week, man, is to me the most critical time for the Philadelphia. It's early because we're going to have a long season, and they have to really get themselves ready and prep for, let's talk about one game at a time, Cleveland. And then I want to see what Nick is going to do with Cleveland. And if we get shellacked by Cleveland, I say call Belichick.
Yeah, it's coming. And Howie doesn't get a pass here either. I sent you guys an article on what Howie's brought in this year in the free agents and what they've done. Mike, I know you're loving it because the 49ers just they got love seeing the Eagles go down like this because there's nothing.
Okay, yes and no. I mean, there's still other teams in the conference that are pretty strong, like Detroit and everything. So it's like, one team could fall, another team is still going to rise. But, San Francisco got their own issues. It's still, Brandon Ayuk and all that kind of stuff still getting up to speed. But, getting back to the Eagles real quick, I agree about Sirianni, and, there's definitely some disconnect, not just with Jalen, but it also seems like it's a disconnect with his coaches. I saw where they said that him and Vic Fangio were even going to sit down together and kind of review the defense and everything that happened play by play, just to figure out what's going wrong, because it's not just the offensive side of the ball and Jalen that's messing up. You're also seeing the defense. That Tampa Bay game, it was 21-0, I think it was, going into the second half. And it's like, okay, if the defense is struggling, offense is struggling, your defense to still keep it close, but they weren't doing anything. So it's on both sides of the ball that it seems like there's problems. It to me almost seems like you can say Nick is a puppet, but I think it's also kind of one of those things that, I think maybe Howie may intervene maybe a little too much. I feel like Kellen Moore and Vic Fangio were not necessarily guys that Nick picked to be his guys, that Howie said, these are the guys you need to get because you need experience. And then when you have that lack of chemistry in your coaching staff, a lot of times people, when they get their coaches, they hire the coaches that they want, that they know, like Harbaugh, brought in Greg Roman and then brought in Mentor, who was with him in Michigan. And you can see where they're lockstep together so that, you can see it on the field. I'm not sure if you had that in Philadelphia, where you just have kind of like independent mercenaries as coaches, and I think that matters. I think you got to have some kind of congruency, some kind of tightness between your coaching staff, and then that kind of trickles down with the discipline and all that kind of things that you're kind of seeing lack of right now.
Yeah, and Jermaine, where are all these Georgia Bulldogs? Where is Jordan Davis? Where is Jalen Carter? Where is Nakobe Dean? Where are all these guys?
Look, I hope a lot of people are listening. You know what I mean? And for what I see, how everybody's like, oh, yeah, you guys had a banged up draft and this, that, and the other and whatnot. In the last 2 years, you guys really killed it. I'm sorry. I mean, unless you prove me wrong, interrupt me, because I feel as though that there's a lot that's got to be on the plate. We got so much little time and all that stuff. But I feel as though the draft is overrated. It's 50-50. It's 50-50 what you're going to do in the draft. Everybody's making scenarios and moving up and down and all that stuff. But the more I see it, you know what I mean? And you go to a top-notch school, the SEC, you know what I mean, to pick up these players, and then they don't know how to play. The only one that's really showing up is Jalen Carter. And then what's going on with Jalen Carter? Now they're like, oh, okay, we're not caring about nobody else. That's just double or triple team Jalen Carter and whatnot off the line. That's why then they're getting no pressure. And then Bryce Huff, I mean, what the heck? You know what I mean? So it's crazy. $54 million. Yeah. Now, I totally agree with that. It's like, yo, what are you doing? But then at the same time, he's playing out of position. He's playing out of position in a defense that's not catered to him in that Vic Fangio defense, So I hope, like I said, this bye week is a good week. You know what I mean? It's a get right week and all that stuff. But I feel as though a lot of stuff has got to change. And Dre said it. Dre said, well, this bye week came at a right time. You know what I mean? Because we all said that, oh, man, bye week is week 5. You better be lucky that this bye week was a week 10 or week 11.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
that's the only thing I'm hanging my hat on, you know. So let's see, you know. But yeah, it's the Jordan. I mean, Jordan Davis is right now is a bust. N'Kobe Dean is a bust. Keely Ringo can't really get on the field and all that stuff. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, Sal. I don't.
Yeah, and then Howie brings in C.J. Gardner-Johnson, who hasn't done a thing. He's also bought in. He gave up a third-round pick for Dotson, who can't catch a damn ball to save his life.
Yeah.
And then you bring in Huff from the Jets. I mean, Dre. Yeah, Dre, what's going on with Howie? I mean, you could go down the list.
Well, I was just thinking right now. My analogy of these first 4 weeks of this is basically it's a kitchen that's a mess, right? You got a chef who's you know in the kitchen. You got all the sous chefs, right? So if your chef can't really get anything together, how are your sous chefs going to get stuff together and then hand it down to your people handing out the food to the waiters to be handing the wrong plates, the wrong whatever. Food is not hot, you know, it's cold. I mean, to me, it's a complete mess right now in this kitchen, and it's been like this for the last couple of years. I mean, remember we went through 4 different coordinators. I mean, we went through 4 different coordinators in the last 3 years since 2022, right? Yeah. So to me, man, like I don't know what else to say about that part. Is just saying that it's a mess, and your players, and you only got really one veteran, which is Brandon.
Yeah,
you know, you only got one veteran on the team, in my opinion. Is Brandon Graham.
So let me ask a question. I think we talked a little bit before. What's the expectation for this season? You know, it's kind of like I think there's a feeling of a make or break. You got to win or else you fire everybody. But when you got 2 new coordinators and a bunch of young talent, you know, is the expectation maybe to finish the season strong and have something to build to next year?
That's the way I agree with it, Mike. You know what I mean? The way this is going, you finish the year, you try to finish the year strong, and then now all of a sudden you just got to reevaluate. You know, I mean, definitely Nick is on the he's on the chopping block right now. Well, his head is just literally leaning over the chopping block. You know what I mean? And you just need one more swipe, but. Yeah, you finish strong. You get into the playoffs, and you probably get put out. That's the way I see it. You probably get put out the first round. Maybe you make a run, get out of the first round. Make it to the second round. But that's it. I mean, because you got Brandon Graham, but you also have Lane Johnson, Dre. You got Lane Johnson on that line. You know what I mean, offensive line, which I feel as though Brandon Graham is very vocal. Lane Johnson's got to step up. I mean, somebody, these other veterans that you have on here, it's got to step up. It's got to say something. You know what I mean? But players only meeting or whatever. But yeah, what you're saying, Mike. Bottom line is finish strong. But you can't go into next year. And it's a shame we're in week 5 saying next year and whatnot, go in there and just, I guess revamp. That's all, that's the way I see it.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, you got to look at Howie. Hef is right. Thanks for taking Dotson. Howie got, he got fleeced on that. He got fleeced on that. And Howie has not picked up good free agents. He should not be touching this team, except for financially. I'm sorry. Like, we've gone through this with him for the last 10, 15 years. This is like, enough is enough. Like, if this goes down and they don't do well in the playoffs, you got to look at the coach and you got to look at Howie. And I know Lurie's not going to get rid of Howie, but I think you got to say what you said before when Howie was a GM. Howie is not going to be GM. He's just going to manage finances. And that's what happened when the Eagles had that 3-win season right after they got rid of Andy Reid and all that. And now here we go again. Like, it's definition of insanity is doing the same thing over again. And with Howie, it's been too long.
But it's just so funny because it seems like all the moves Howie makes all look right. Like taking Dotson, like when they took Dotson, everyone was just like, why are you doing that? It's like, why is Washington giving away Dotson? You're crazy to get rid of him. He's good. He should be a number 3 receiver on this team and like catch a zillion balls because the other 2 got it all looked right. That's the funny thing with Howie is like picking all those Georgia players. I mean, or getting a Bryce Huff who had a great year, in New York. It's like it looks right. I mean, it looks like he's picking all the right players, other than of course Jalen Reagor. But it's just so odd that it's not panning out right now, because it does look like he's making the right moves to me.
Yeah, it's all on paper though. I mean, like Howie, there's some breakdown when they're going through that process. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it is. Like they're getting guys too late, and then the other thing is, remember this defense, Vic Fangio's defense is built on linebackers. Eagles don't have the linebackers for it. They don't.
It never
I mean,
did.
yeah. I mean, it's not his defense yet. You don't have the line, and Howie has never put any type of value on linebacker ever. And Jeremiah Trotter Jr., I like him, but he's all over the field. He's young. He's still learning. He's not ready yet.
I got you on that.
Yeah.
But to answer Mike's question, maybe I 10 wins, maybe a wild card or the division. But if it's a wild card, great. We get into the playoffs. You know, you're talking about what's the expectations for this team to actually be better than what they did last year, honestly. I mean, I text, and I'm going to get this out real quick. I text a while back, man. This is not the 2022 team. This is not, you know, and we're still, and I say we, Philadelphia Eagles fans, I think that we're still living like, oh, well, they expect to be better than this. I'm like, well, look at what they've been going through ever since after we lost the Super Bowl. It just hasn't been right, and it never will be. So you got to get out of your head that it's not the same team, and we'll lead on to what I got to say about Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
You know, this is my situation too. I mean, since 2022, I mean, how many coordinators have we went through? I mean, there's no stability starting with the coaching staff. That's what it is. You know what I mean? And it all goes back to Doug Peterson, where Doug Peterson says, I'm out, because he wanted to pick his own coordinators. You know what I mean? And ever since then, ever since he says, I'm out, I don't, okay, well, you're out, you're fired. You know, it hasn't been right. It has not been right to where, I don't know if Sal and Mike said it. It's like, you got to, the head coach has got to pick their own coordinators. And one, Nick Sirianni don't know how to pick his coordinators, because I think they gave him a chance to pick his coordinators, and you saw what happened. You know what I mean? So it starts from there. It's no stability in the front office. It's none whatsoever. So much inconsistency, and then it boils right down into the personnel as far as players and stuff. You know what I mean? And then now, we're pointing the finger at Jalen. We're pointing the finger at this. But you know what? It all starts from the top, because everybody needs some type of stability, and you don't have it. And that's what's frustrating with the Eagles. That's what's frustrating.
Yeah.
No, definitely.
I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, totally. All right. Well, the Eagles got the easiest strength of schedule coming up, and we'll see what happens with them. I mean, if they don't do it now, and then they're not going to do it. They have the easiest strength of schedule for the rest of the year, and we'll see what happens. But let's talk about the other elephant in the room. There's a certain Las Vegas wide receiver that's a little bit unhappy, gentlemen. Let's talk about him really quickly. I know where you want him to go, Mike, but
no, I'm past that. I mean, last year I was that way. This year, after seeing how the team did with when Debo was out last year, when he came back and just saw this the pickup in momentum and positivity and stuff that he brought to the team. I mean, there's just something about him that just makes him play a little bit better. So I don't know if Adams would bring that, especially now with how much he costs and all that kind of stuff. I mean, IU certainly has to get better, but Adams can go somewhere else. We'll be all right.
Yeah, there's a couple of landing spots, but Las Vegas says, nope, we're still not trading him. We're not entertaining offers. But then Adams is like, all right, then I'm just going to sit out with my injury. So it seems like they're at an impasse here. I don't know. They're talking Washington. They're talking the Jets, of course. I've heard all types of things. I've even heard Chicago, and I don't know. Trey, what do you think? Devontae Adams or Jimmy?
How old is Adams?
31.
Oh yeah, come on. I mean, what do you? I mean, what? I mean, do you guys? I feel as though he's over. He's on the back end of his prime, correct?
Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, he's
yeah.
I would still say he's a top 10 receiver.
I agree.
He can definitely be an upgrade to certain teams. But it's just the money. You have to get some kind of deal. Sort of like what Denver did with Russell Wilson, where they basically were like, okay, we're going to trade you, but we'll still eat his salary. Because right now Adams just costs too much. I mean, it's like what he costs this year, and then like the next 2 years on your salary cap is just ridiculous. And I'm not sure we can really restructure any of that. So you got to work out some kind of sweet deal with the Raiders. Probably offer more draft picks and get them to eat his salary. And I just don't think a lot of teams are positioned to do that. Maybe Buffalo might want to think about something like that because they could use maybe a receiver, his talent. I think they got the room to do it from a pick standpoint. Maybe not say salary, but they could get more picks for him. That's the only team I could constantly think of that he would go to that would make a difference and he have a chance to actually win. I think anybody else, you're just throwing money away.
Well, I don't know what Kansas City's budget is and everything, but I can see him at Kansas City, because they lost Rice, and you got Schuster, and I forgot the other guy, and of course you got Kelsey, and I really think that we need a top guy like that for Kansas City. I think even to get Patrick Mahomes out of the slump, whatever slump he's in right now, to get him back on track. So he needs a go-to wide receiver. So to me, I think I could see him at Kansas City, but I don't know if Kansas City can afford him.
Yeah,
it looks like they can because the other wide receivers are just average. I mean, there's nobody that's really started.
But they won 2 Super Bowls with average receivers. I mean, I think they've kind of convinced themselves that receiver is not something they want to invest heavily in, other than do the draft. I think Kansas City just said, look, we had Tyreek Hill, who was one of the best receivers in the league, won a Super Bowl, then we won without him. So as long as we got Patrick Mahomes, we'll figure something out. They just got to get their running game going and just rely on their defense like they did last year. I don't think they'll pull the trigger. I think they've decided that receivers is not something they need to put that much money into.
Remember, guys, New England Patriots did it with no-name receivers. They did it.
Yeah, you're right, and I agree. The one thing that I do appreciate and everything with Andy Reid knows how to coach. Yep. Andy Reid's not going to dumb. He's not going to hit the panic mode. I mean, just like what you guys said, 2-time, about to maybe be a 3-peat and whatnot. And yes, they're still 4-0, struggling. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So you got to appreciate that with that coaching staff. Mm-hmm. I mean, the defensive coordinator, Andy Reid, all those people that he has in place. He got rid of all the, the nonsense, and my thing is, it starts with the coach, man. It starts with the coach. And what you said, Sal, you know what I mean? If Howie just pulls back, and I agree with you to a point, and just let him do the finances and everything, because he is a good financial wizard. You're right. Mm-hmm. You're right. Mm-hmm. He is a good financial wizard. I do agree with that. But if he pulls back just a little bit and you get yourself a bona fide coach, which I'm really not on board on Belichick. You know what I mean? At this point, maybe you go to college and try to grab somebody and whatnot, somebody that's young, somebody that's got some energy and whatnot, and somebody's not going to pull up with this foolishness and stuff, But until that happens, you got to respect Andy Reid. He's not going to pull the trigger. Yeah. Oh, go get Adams. No, he's still got that Worthy guy. You know what I mean? That he's really grooming and everything and whatnot. So that's the way. That's the way I see it. You know.
Well, I'm telling you, don't rule out the Jets yet, because Garrett Wilson, believe me, the Jets are not doing well right now. Garrett Wilson is not the guy. He's not getting on the same page as Rodgers. Rodgers isn't throwing the ball to him because he's doing this thing again where he missed a pass or something and Rodgers didn't throw to him for the whole half. So I would not be surprised to see him go to the Jets. Trust me, the Jets aren't doing anything right now. Breece Hall's got 2 points. And Garrett Wilson's got 5. So the Jets are looking to get some offense here, and he might. I don't know. But anyway, let's see. 13.5 million cap hit. Yeah, it's a big cap hit for Adams. And I think that eventually they're going to have to do something, but it's going to have to be a deal that Las Vegas wants, and it's going to have to be something, I think, that shocks them.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hey, real quick, Dre, you said, I don't want to go backwards real quick, but you did say you had a comment about Jalen you wanted to get out there. What was that you wanted to throw out there?
Well, the thing I want to throw out there is and ask all you guys and everybody in the chat from what I've been seeing since 2022, and with the changes with the coordinator, because like Jermaine was bringing about, you can't point the finger at Jalen. It's the coaching's upstairs. But what I'm getting at is he a system quarterback where he needs great coaching? Because remember, Steichen to me was the elite guy, and then Jalen basically just took off, got his $255 million, and then Super Bowl appearance. And then after that was after Steichen left and stuff, he just trickled downhill because of the coordinator issues and all that. But can he adjust? Is my question. Is he a system quarterback, or does he? Or let me say this: that the talent he has can be over being a system quarterback?
Look, I'm gonna say this, Dre. I'm gonna say this. We all gonna agree on this podcast, and Hef and Katie and everybody who's listening. Jalen is a mediocre quarterback. You have to surround Jalen with talent. You know what I'm saying? So the biggest thing, what I see right now, you lost your two great guys, the ones that stretch the field, the one that can control the middle, the whole nine, with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. Okay? When you don't have those two guys, Jalen look lost. I mean, let's go back to the Green Bay game. Green Bay, he threw for over 400 yards. Yes, he had a couple turnovers and all that stuff. If he cleans his turnovers up, I'm still on board, with Jalen. But Jalen's going to have to clean those turnovers up. But when you get these two guys, that's why I said that's not panic and all that stuff. And you said, well, it's not panic, it's reality. Okay, I can agree with you on that. But okay, when reality comes back with your two top stars, let's see where he's at. You know what I mean? Now, with that being said, if he's still doing the same nonsense and all that stuff, and I told you, we talked about this early in the week, right? And then I'm out. I'm done. I'm done.
But he had
because there's no excuse. There's no excuse.
Yeah.
There's
Jermaine,
no excuse. You got all that talent. You know what I mean? No excuse.
I'm on board with you, Jermaine, except for the fact that he had Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown for 10 games last year, and he lost 10 in a row.
Yeah, but look at that. It goes back to the coordinators. I mean, come on. I mean, you sit up here.
Still great talent.
Huh?
Still great talent around him.
Yeah, I know, but what are you going to do? I mean, they're calling plays, and you have to call the plays. I mean, you have to, you got to abide by those plays and all that stuff. I mean, what kind of offense did they have last year, Sal? You know what I mean? What kind of offense did they really have last year?
The same one they have this year.
Yeah, almost. Yeah, you're right.
Well, yeah.
But it goes back to coaching, because you know why?
Yeah.
Because Nick think he knows it all. And he's meddling in there. He's like, Kellen's probably calling the play, and this is my opinion. Kellen's calling the play. No, we're going to do this. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
Or Kellen's like, kick the field goal. No, we're going for the tush push. I mean, that's exactly what it is. And you can see it all in Nick's face. Nick's trying to prove something, but you know what? It's backfiring. It's backfiring in his face.
Yeah. I'm just like, but the fan side of me, I'm so frustrated about it.
I agree. Yeah, me too.
And when you look at the Tampa Bay game, we actually had more the time on the clock. We had more possession of the ball than they did, and we got shellacked. Unless it was, it wasn't for, well, Whistling helped us out. Of course, Saquon Barkley ran that 62-yard TD, whatever, and then Dallas Goedert. But besides that, man, Jalen's just been bad with his completions and turnovers, and his rating has gone down a lot. Right now he's ranked 13th. Out of it with a 58.9%, something like that, completion.
Yeah, but when those guys look at A.J. Brown, A.J. Brown is the X factor. I mean, with those games and all that stuff, you've seen that everything is going down. You know what I mean? And then on top of that, you pay guys, you pay Saquon Barkley $38 million. And I think me and Dre looked at the stats. From game one, what he had, like 25 carries?
Right.
And it just dwindled all the way down to freaking 10 carries for a $38 freaking million running back, and you only run him freaking 10 times. That's just unfreaking believable, and that's what we talked about in the offseason. You're paying this man, run the goddamn ball. That's all, run the ball. And when he ran the goddamn ball, you saw what happened, but he only got 10 freaking carries.
Right.
Crazy, man.
Right.
Crazy.
But another thing is Kellen Moore brought in Doug Nussmeier. Okay. And Doug was under Kellen in LA Chargers and the 4 or 5, whatever, 10 year with the Cowboys. Right. So when I go back to about can he be coachable? Because Doug Nussmeier has a good credibility, and what he has done with Hubert. I'm gonna be biased though with Dak, but all I'm saying is though, it's not. I mean, he has a credential like Steichen, so why can't he adjust? Why can't Jalen adjust?
Because of Nick.
Because of what? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Because of Nick.
Because of Nick.
I think,
okay.
Yeah, I think it's all because of Nick. That's all I'm saying. Because I think as the season goes on, and if they keep playing like this, you really going to start seeing a lot of stuff being exposed. You know what I mean? You think we got exposed last year, but now I think a lot of stuff is really going to get exposed this year. You know what I mean? It's just they're not clicking, man. They're not clicking. That's all.
Well, none of this matters when you got a defense who can't stop anything. So
say it again, Sal. Say it again.
None of it matters if you can't have a defense that just can't stop anything. Mike, I know you wanted to jump in, but
yeah, I was just gonna say with Jalen, a lot of quarterbacks are system quarterbacks. I mean, you look at how Sam Darnold was doing in Minnesota, and a lot of that has to do with similarities and systems to what he had exposed to in San Francisco. Kevin O'Connell comes from the Shanahan tree through McGenius, so all that kind of trickles down. So there are certain guys that get into a certain system and they do pretty well in it. I think my concern with Jalen Hurts, and it's something I want to see him, is can he develop into someone who can read defenses and be able to react quicker? So, I think he's struggling also because of what's going on where defenses are now doing a lot more disguising, a lot more pressures are coming from different places, a lot of simulated blitzes, all that kind of stuff that defense are doing that a lot of quarterbacks are struggling with. Some of the top quarterbacks are struggling with that, but you got Jalen, who I think is more of a I see a guy that's open and I hit him more than I throw a guy that's open. So he's got to get that aspect of his game of being able to kind of get the ball to a spot to get the guy to catch it before the guy is even looking for it. I haven't really seen that for him yet. I've seen a lot more of, again, it's based off of talent. Guys are just so good that they get so open that he can just get the ball where they need to get it. But now you got to up your game a little bit, because the defenses are caught on to it. I hate to say it, like Nick Bosa kind of talked about Jalen last year during that championship game. It was like, yeah, if you force him to his left, or to his right, he's a totally different player. And so all you got to do is just contain him and make him do X, Y, and Z. And he'll start making mistakes. That word kind of got out to the league. So I think that Jalen does need to improve just overall his processing of the field, if he can, because it's not easy to do. Not everybody can do it. And I mean, some of the best quarterbacks in the league just can't process, but so fast. But, guys like Rodgers, guys like Mahomes, I think Lamar's got a little bit better at it. Brock seems to be pretty good at it. Jalen's got the physical capabilities, but, now it's kind of more the mental side of it and just knowing, where to go with the ball, making those right decisions and having to make that right decision within 2 seconds.
Yeah. His first 8 career starts, 89.7 passer rating, 503 rushing yards, 6.6 rushing average, and a 3-5 record. His last 8 starts, 79.4 passer rating, 8 touchdown passes, 9 interceptions, 314 rushing yards, 4.6 rushing, 3.3-5 record. So he's also 40% on third down. Third down is killing him. He's not doing well on third down at all. And it's because a lot of times he's getting into a 3rd and long. That's been their biggest problem. So
he can't plant his feet. If you plant his feet and stuff, he can get the ball down the field. But like the Tampa Bay game, man, it was garbage.
Yeah.
But what do you do? What do you do with that? I mean, just like what Sal said, you're still seeing the damn same offense. You know what I mean? Shotgun. We have not. What's the percentage? Pull that up, Sal. What is the percentage of him going under center? Because Kellen Moore's offense is going under center. When is the last time he was under center and he could do a damn play action? Yeah. How many screens to Saquon Barkley or anybody besides a wide receiver, you know what I mean, have you seen this whole offense? This is part of Kellen Moore's offense. That's why I say, is it Kellen doesn't trust Jalen to do that? Or is it Nick saying, no, let's go back in the shotgun, but yeah, let's just move that receiver to go one side and whatnot. You know what I mean? What is it? What is it? You know what I mean? Because we probably could count how many times he was under center. How many times he probably did a play action under center. How many times he did a screen. It's the same damn vanilla offense. Just like what you guys said, what we saw last year. You know?
Yeah.
And that's contributed from Nick. Because Nick brought that sense in there when we went to the Super Bowl, but everybody's caught up to it. I mean, don't take a no-brainer. I'm not saying Nick Bosa is stupid, but damn, we're sitting there on the couch saying, "Oh, here you go." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It don't take a rocket scientist to figure that out.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
All
right, we got that out the way. Okay, I feel good.
Now let's get to the games. Let's roll through these pretty quickly, guys, because we got some more stuff to do at the end here. So we got Bills and Texans is the first one. Bills and Texans today. McStuffins, who you got?
I'm going to take the Bills. Something's up with the Texans. They, I won't say a sophomore slump, but there definitely seems like, how they finished last year, they're not looking as solid this year. I think Buffalo with their running attack is actually going to be the difference. I just think Buffalo's going to do it.
Well, I hope so, because I got Buffalo's running back going today. But besides that, Dre, who do you got?
Man, I like Houston. I always did. I like Houston way back in the day with Andre Johnson and all that. But this, to me, man, this is what people have been talking about, a revenge game for Stephon Diggs, right? He's got to show up. But Stephon was like, well, I got to, let's just win. It's not about me. Let's just get out there and win. They don't have Mixon. So, they got to get the other running back going. And the defense, to me, has got to step up a little bit better. I don't know, man. I got Houston. I got Houston in this game. I really do.
All right, Jermaine. Is he still
Jermaine?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. What was the game? I'm sorry. I got tired.
Bills and Texans.
Bills and Texans. Ooh, that's going to be a good game. I think I heard Mike said that sophomore slump, you know what I mean, with the Texans and all that stuff. But, what we saw last week with Buffalo, is that the real Buffalo now that's coming to fruition? Or was it the first 3 games when they was just blowing up the joint? So I'm going to go with the first part. I feel as though Buffalo got exposed, and I'm going to take Houston.
Yeah.
All right.
Nah, I think Baltimore is just a different animal that Buffalo is not built to handle. That's big running backs, big offensive line, man. Buffalo not built for that, but Texans don't have that. But go ahead, Sal.
I was just going to say, I think the X factor today is going to be Shakir's out, who's Josh Allen's favorite target. So I think if Houston can stop the running game of Buffalo, I think Houston will win this, and I think they will. I think Shakir being out is going to make a big difference, and I got Houston in this one.
And don't forget, man, it might be a Tank Dell sighting. They have to,
Yeah.
He's coming back.
He hasn't done a whole lot.
He's coming back.
He hasn't done a whole lot.
All right, next game is Ravens at the Bengals. Guys, you know what the Bengals do every year. Here we go. Mike, you got?
Ravens. I'm taking the Ravens. I think Bengals still don't have a run defense. And if Baltimore does the right thing, which is stick with the run, that works for them, they'll be up and down the field all day on Cincinnati. They just got to commit to the run. But, yeah, I got Baltimore.
All right, Joy.
Yeah, I got Baltimore too, man. They put a stamp on, their last game win. And I'm going to say Bengals are really struggling. They're struggling with Burrow, struggling, like you said, defensively. So I take Houston. I'm sorry. I said Houston. I take Baltimore.
Take Baltimore. All right. Jermaine's not with us, so I guess I'll go. But yeah. So I'm going to go with Cincinnati on this one, guys. And I'm going to take a chance. I think T Higgins, this might be his coming out party today. I think they're going to get T involved. I think it's going to be too much for that Ravens pass defense because it's not very good. The Ravens get killed by receivers in the slot. So I have a funny feeling today, Higgins, if they put him in the slot and they utilize him, I think it could be a problem for them. So I'm going to go with Cincinnati for sure on that one. All right. Moving on here, we got Cards at Niners. Mike, I don't think Kyler Murray can study enough for this game.
Yeah, no, I got San Francisco.
Mhm.
People were coming back, so getting some healthy guys back, that's good. Yeah, I think the Cardinals started out a little hot and then lost the last 2 games and lost them pretty badly. So I think there's still some growing pains there. I think Kyler Murray is still kind of holding them back a little bit. So no, I'm picking San Francisco. I mean, San Fran, I think, just needs to focus on stopping the run, especially James Conner, who normally, has good games against San Francisco. But if they can, keep them bottled up a little bit, and then this kind of expose that Cardinals defense that's still struggling, then San Francisco should win.
Dre's hoping Marvin Harrison Jr. comes out today with a game today, but I don't know, Dre. What do you think?
Man, Kyle Murray, right? I don't know, man. He's playing his video game. I don't know. Listen, he need more production out of Arizona, not just Marvin Jr., all the players, And I see Arizona actually rebounding from last week. So I'm expecting Arizona to take this, actually. I'm picking Arizona.
Ooh, all right.
Yeah.
I am going to pick the 49ers in this one. Fred Warner is playing out of his mind right now. He's got to be probably the defensive player of the year, in my opinion. The guy is just going crazy right now. I think Charvarius Ward is going to shut down. He is playing, right, Mike? Ward is playing today? Okay, he's back.
Yeah.
I thought so. Yeah, he's going to shut down Harrison Jr. I think Arizona is going to have a rough time. I think 49ers will be able to handle them pretty easily today. All right, next one.
Let me add real quick. Sorry. Real
Mhm.
quick, let me add that, the Rams really took the 49ers, right? I don't know if Arizona is as good as the Rams, but it's always those divisional games, man. And
Yeah.
Arizona just shows up.
Yeah.
I just, and you know how the defense is, Mike, on what's been going on. Yes, I'm a big Fred Warner guy. I love him. He's great. One of the best. But I hope that Kittles can get more. Kittles actually has a sore ribs, but I just think Kyle Murray's going to do one of his Madden game today with Marvin.
We'll see. We'll
How
see.
about you,
Yeah,
Jermaine? Jermaine, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah.
How about Arizona and San Fran?
Arizona and San Fran. If Kyler Murray didn't read his playbook this week, you know what I mean? I don't say it. San Fran. I mean, as though San Fran is, it's got this little struggle, just like everybody else and whatnot. Yeah, I think San Fran's gonna pull it out.
Okay.
All right.
And I'm sorry, that Bengals game. I don't know what's going on with the Bengals. You know what I mean? I have no idea. So, and I think Baltimore is peaking. So yeah, I'm gonna take Baltimore on that.
All right. I'm the only one who picked the Bengals on that one. Interesting. All right. All right, we got 2 more really quickly. Cowboys at the Steelers. Interesting one, guys. So this is in the terrible towel land, Mike.
I want to pick the Steelers, but man, I think the Cowboys are going to beat them. I'm not sure how they're going to do it. I think a lot's going to ride on Dak. Even with all the injuries they got at so many key positions, it's just I haven't felt a trust to Justin Fields yet. I know he hasn't turned the ball over, but it just seems like it's about to happen. That he's just going to show his true colors again, and it's going to cost them, the game. So no, I'm picking the Cowgirls.
All right, Dre.
I think Mike Tomlin is going to rattle Dak Prescott. Here we go.
Yeah.
I really do with Watts coming on or rushing on the edge there and mixing it up there. I'm liking Pittsburgh actually this year, and Dallas is struggling. I'm sorry, guys, and Dak just can't really handle the pressure. I think they're gonna bring the wood to him. So I'm gonna say it's not gonna be a blowout, but I am gonna say that they're gonna win more than a field goal. They might win by a touchdown. Pittsburgh Steelers.
All right, Jermaine.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, Cooks is out, but it really didn't make a difference if he's in or not. You know what I mean? I agree with Dre. I think Mike Tomlin's going to bring something different. You know what I mean? And I never count Mike Tomlin out and stuff. So yeah, it's going to be a good game. I mean, Dallas don't have a running game, and all you got is CD Lamb. I just can't. At one point in the beginning of the week, I was torn between it, but now I look at it. I think Pittsburgh's going to pull this one out. It's in Pittsburgh, correct? Not Dallas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Okay, it's in Pittsburgh. Okay. Yeah, I'm going with Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Pittsburgh too because Micah Parsons is out. I think that's really going to hurt Dallas. They got some injuries on that defense. So,
Totally forgot about that. You're right. Yep.
yeah. So I think I'm going to. I actually might change my pick 'em to to them this week. All right, and then last but not least, the towel is at Washington. Guys, Washington's the hottest team in the NFC East right now. Who you got, Mike?
I'm taking Washington. They can't protect Deshaun Watson. I mean, he's got 19 sacks in 4 games, and he'll probably have another 5 or 6 sacks to take today. Watson is not necessarily a strong pressure defense, but it's just how bad the offensive line is for Cleveland. And then Cleveland's pass catchers, they drop a lot of passes. Amari Cooper's having a terrible year. So, yeah, I think the towel is, it's going to be a rough day. Tattered towel for sure. So I'm going Washington.
It's going to be a terrible towel, right, Dre?
What's interesting, though? So we're on our bye week, and then we play them, right? When we come back, right? So is this a trap game kind of, say, for Philadelphia in a way? Because, like, if Washington beats them, Philadelphia has to beat Cleveland as well. You know what I mean? Like, Cleveland knows, like, they got to play 2 the East teams, right? It's a non-conference, of course, but Cleveland's not going to say, dang, we're going to lose to Washington, and then we got to play Philadelphia, and Washington right now might be a little bit better than Philly, So, man, Washington's got to win this game. Both teams, even Philly next week. I think Washington's going to win, and Cleveland's going to go 0-2. Watch.
All right, Jermaine.
You know what? I'm going to take Cleveland.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm going to take Cleveland.
Wow.
I mean, I feel as though the towel for Deshaun is going to be wet.
Oh,
you know what I mean? So, yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and he's going to be waving it today. So,
I think if Cleveland had Nick Chubb back, I feel different about it. But man, that offensive line is that bad, man. We'll see. But I think if you get to watch the highlights, you're going to see the towel just in the ground, man. I'm telling you, we'll see.
I like Washington. I think Cleveland's defense is going to have a tough time stopping Daniels. I really do. So I think between that and I think between the pressure, Washington's defense is they're not really good. So if Cleveland can get going, they might make it more competitive than I think. But I do think in the end, Washington's going to pull it out and be 4-1.
But Daniels is exciting, I have to say.
He is. I was debating to start him over Stroud this week. He's the number 1 fantasy ranked quarterback this week, Daniel. So,
yeah.
But again, he's a rookie, so it's like he could bring you back to earth too. And how do you bench Stroud? I mean, it's like, it's a tough one.
Yep.
But anyway, yeah, he's exciting. Daniel's probably the most exciting quarterback right now in the East, if not the whole NFL. Stroud was last year. Daniels, this could be his year. We'll see.
Something about that number 2 pick, right?
Yeah, something about that number 2 pick.
The second guy is the guy you really want to get, not the first guy.
Yeah. All right. We're going to have to kind of do this game a little bit quicker than I thought because we only got about a little over 5 minutes left. But we've been talking a lot about quarterbacks. Are they worth the money and all that? So I'm just going to roll around. You have 3 choices. He's stacked, he's on track, or he broke our back. All right. So, you guys have to decide when I say the quarterback's name. Is he stacked? Is he on track? Or did he break our back? All right. So with that being said, obviously break our back means he's horrible. On track means he's where he should be, or he's stacked, meaning he's ahead of the game. Mike, Mr. Irrelevant. Let's start with him.
Oh, definitely stacked. I mean, last pick in the draft, and you win the 2 NFC Championship games, and technically, I think right now has the most yards passing in the NFL as quarterback. Yeah, you gotta have him, else you ain't gonna win. So yeah, it's stacked.
All right, Trey, here we go. Stacked, on track, or broke his back?
Broke his back. Highest paid quarterback right now, and he has shown nothing for it, in my opinion. He's in the last couple of years, man. He's just not. He just doesn't have it, and man. He broke my
I
back.
know. I
Final.
think he's on track because I think what you're seeing is exactly what you get. Like it hasn't changed. It's been the same Dak that you've seen every year. So I think it's on track to be another year of usual Dak, just paid more.
Yeah.
I guess I'm looking at it as where he's not on track because he's so bad. So
You just don't like him. Go ahead.
I don't
say
like
it,
him.
You don't like him. You don't like him. No matter what he does, he win a Super Bowl. It'd be like it's for fluke.
Jermaine set me up perfectly for this one. The wet towel, on track. Dak and broke his back.
Yeah, definitely broke his back. That's the way I say it. Definitely broke his back. I mean, it's no brainer with that. So.
All right.
Yeah.
Mike, I see ghost.
I'd say he's on track.
Right.
Getting close to stack, but I think you got to see a full year of him at this level. But he might have that Baker Mayfield kind of thing where he's finally found a place that works for him. You're saying the damn Darnold. Minnesota might be his home.
All right, Trey, Jalen Hurts.
He's on track. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I mean, he's not stacked, but he's definitely on track. And like with all the turmoil we just mentioned about, he has the potential. He has the talent. We've seen it. So he's on track.
All right, Jermaine, CJ Stroud.
He's on track.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the way. Yeah. I think he's on track. So.
All right.
Yeah.
Mike, if you can get his picture, you know who I'm talking about. Aaron Rodgers, stacked, on track, or they broke his back.
I think it's kind of more broke his back, man. I think.
Okay.
I think it is. I think there's just too much. I think this is it. I think this is it. I think his back's broken. I think just the turmoil that he has with Saleh, with that team, with the talent, I think it's broken.
All right.
I agree.
Dre.
Go ahead.
Kirk Cousins. I know what you're going to say after this past week, but
what's the three choices again?
Kirk Cousins. He's stacked, on track, or broke his back.
Man, he's stacked.
Oh, you're saying Cousins is stacked.
Cousins is stacked. Yes, we know he hasn't won a playoff game, but to me, he's following the same footprint as Dan Marino. Honestly, I mean, Dan Marino didn't win any Super Bowl and playoffs. He's always struggling there, but he was a hell of a fun, a seasoned player. So I say he's stacked.
Yeah,
all right,
I can see that.
Jermaine, Jordan Love.
Jordan Love, he's on track. Growing pains this year. We pray that he's not injury prone. I mean, I like his quarterback play and everything. So, yeah, I definitely think he's on. I definitely think he's on track if he can stay healthy. You know what I mean? If he can stay healthy, I hope that was just a fluke. What happened in Game 1? When you saw his kneecap popped out. You know what I'm saying? So I thought he was done for the year. So but yeah, definitely on. He's on track.
All right. We have time to go around one more time. I got one more for each of you. McStuffins, Joe Burrow.
I say he's on track. Yeah, I'm close to broken back, but I think he's on track. I think what you're seeing is kind of what you usually are seeing from Joe, and that's that slow start to playing good by the end. Is going to be too late or not? It's the question. But yeah, I see he's on track.
All right, Dre, Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson's on track. He's on track. He definitely has. We've seen it. I mean, he has potential. He has it and everything, man. But it's just the little bit of inaccuracies or the turnovers, and he always tries to correct himself. But to me, he's stacked. He can win a playoffs game, and I think he could take Baltimore.
All right, Jermaine, wrap it up for us here. Jaden Daniels.
Wow.
Ooh.
The first five games sound like he's on track. I mean, not on track. He's stacked.
He's stacked.
You know what I mean? Yeah, he's stacked for the first 5 games. I mean, we all beat up on Dre and bullied on Dre when Dre's like Washington's going to finish ahead and all that stuff. But let's talk about Dre. Dre's on track.
Thank you. I'm on track for once.
That's on track.
Wow.
Yeah, I guess I don't know if this is, an answer, but he's in between that on track and stat. He's in between. He's
Okay.
in between, which is a good
Okay.
thing. I mean, so sky's still the limit for him. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Week 5, it's only 5 weeks. Let's see what happens. That's all.
All right.
Yeah, you guys keep breaking my back.
Yeah. It happens every week. We're gonna break Mike's back too for Doc McStuffins, man. He'll never live that one down,
That's all right.
Oh, but that was hilarious. Mike McStuffins. Oh my God.
I'm gonna
was
look
it.
online.
Yeah, that is hilarious.
I'm gonna look online and find some guy named Mike McStuffins. You know he's out there. But hey, if you like our show, check us out every Sunday, 11 a.m. Of course, we're on before all the games each week, and we're on YouTube, obviously Instagram, Twitter, all the major channels. So make sure you subscribe to us. You can also email us at enoughsaidcrew@gmail.com. So feel free to reach out to us. Let us know what you think. Thank you to all our subscribers who are listening this week. And guys, enjoy the games this Sunday. Enjoy the peace with the Eagles not playing for at least one more week. And, we'll rock this out, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Next week we're off because we got some people away next week, but we'll see you back in 2 weeks, guys. We appreciate everybody who's watching us.
All right, everybody.
All right.
Take care.
All right, see you.
All right, guys.
Later.